Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, October 23rd, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Hundreds of school children across the country gathered at the Victoria Park early today for the annual Schools Independence Rally. The rally was held under the theme, Working Together to Enhance National Pride. The event was punctuated with speeches and a number of performances. Kristen John Dean has more in this report.
Quality teachers and quality leadership are key to good results from students. That's according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves while delivering the feature address at the annual Schools Independence Rally held earlier today at Victoria Park. This as the country gets ready to commemorate its 35th anniversary of independence. Dr. Gonsalves states that without quality teachers and quality leadership in schools, a child's potential will not be sufficiently realized.
Quality teachers, and I want the principals to hear me, about quality leadership. Of course, fundamental is what happens in your home and your parents or guardians and those in the communities who can guide you. I got guidance from my parents, I got guidance in the church, and I got from wise older persons in the community. Sometimes you may see in the communities some old men and women, and many of you may laugh and joke at them. Please don't do that. Talk to them. They have a lot to teach you.
The 20 students who were selected to receive National Scholarship Awards were also recognized at the ceremony, with the most outstanding performance recorded by Shanique Clark, who gained 7 Grade 1 passes with all A profiles in the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination. The students were applauded by Minister of Youth Frederick Stevenson, and the Ministry of Education was also applauded for their hard work.
You, the teachers too, who are here, must also take credit because you have spent time, dedication, and hard work to the development of our students. We must compliment the hard-working parents who from time to time would make sure that they visit the schools to see what their children are doing.
The morning event was also filled with many performances through dance, song, and instrumental pieces.
There's a lovely island in the Caribbean Sea with cocoa, citrus, coconuts, and fine banana trees. There's arrowroot and sugar cane waving in the breeze. St. Vincent is its name.
The Victoria Park will again come alive on Monday, October 27th for the National Independence Parade. Kristen John Dean reporting for SVG-TV News.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has expressed disappointment with the internet service provided at some schools. Dr. Gonsalves noted that this is becoming a serious issue which they are working to address.
On Sunday, I was speaking to the Minister of Telecommunications on this matter, and I know he's engaged with Mr. Apollo Knights from the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, because Cable and Wireless did the project from the Universal Service Fund, which was directed by the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission. Well, maybe Cable and Wireless delivered what was paid for. But the fact is this, we are not satisfied and it has to be corrected.
He noted that while some schools are in order, they have been receiving complaints at others.
Schools, if 1 or 2 classes log on, then the carrying capacity of the internet is insufficient for the rest of the school. That is entirely unacceptable. And I have given instructions about the corrections. I have given you the okay for the Minister of Telecommunications to have Digicel do some work in 2 pilot schools. And let us see what they are doing. I am not in any war between cable and wireless and Digicel, but we have 2 providers, and we have to make sure that in this competitive situation, each of them know that there's somebody else we can go to, just in case one doesn't do things the way we want.
The Mountain View Adventist Academy secured the overall top position in the Lions Club South Lime Secondary School's National Public Speaking Competition last evening. The Marley James of the Bishop's College Kingstown came in second. The 6 finalists went through 3 rounds of debate at the Methodist Church Hall. The main speech was won by Chris Lund Fraser of the St. Vincent Grammar School, who took the 3rd position overall. The student-prepared speech was won by Eric February of the Mountain View Adventist Academy, while the impromptu speech was won by Andrika Samuel of the Girls High School. Here's a look at the winning speeches delivered by the students.
To an investor after collecting a large sum of money for his political party. Chairperson, one big drawback of the program is the potential for fraud, as criminals can use it for unfettered travel. However, despite the many drawbacks to the Citizenship by Investment program, when managed effectively, it promises to yield great benefits. The Grenadian government realized a substantial contribution made to their economy in the past. Hence, they resumed the program last year.
Is with me in the orthodontist office while walking the kids to school, in meetings, while making breakfast. She magically finds herself into my hands, and I begin scrolling or tapping her face so often without a purpose. When I am in her company, I forget things. I don't see where I am going. I don't hear people. But hey, I won't go one day without her. And if I leave home without her, then I must turn around to get her. Yes, she is my darling companion, my smartphone.
Went around the world today with only numbers, what would we be? We would be speaking in a different language. I come up to you, instead of saying hi, hello, I'll be like 34967. I love English. English makes me feel like I am being me. English makes me feel like I am contributing something. If I write a story and I get a very good topic, like a juicy topic, and I write an amazing story about it, and my teacher comments on it to people, I will be like, yeah boy, I'm gonna write that. But we also need to educate ourselves. Many people see a long speech and the first thing that comes to their head is, man, reading? Seriously? No. Think of reading as a way of educating yourself.
Former Member of Parliament Randolph Russell was yesterday, October 22nd, laid to rest following an official funeral at the St. George's Cathedral. Jamisha Wright has more on the funeral in this report.
The late Randolph Russell was born on November 22, 1927 and died on October 10, 2014. Russell laid in the state for 3 hours yesterday before he was taken to the St. George's Cathedral for the official funeral service. Former Speaker of the House of Assembly Monty Moore delivered the eulogy and states that the passing of Russell climaxed a life of dedicated service to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Granny developed a keen interest in politics at a very early age. And despite his full and diverse business investment portfolio, never divorced himself from his political ambitions. He maintained that his vision for the development of his country could only be fulsomely realized through his own direct political involvement. Accordingly, he aligned himself firstly with the People's Political Party and later converted to the St. Vincent Labour Party.
Among those delivering tributes to Russell were former Prime Minister Sir James Mitchell, who explains that he frequently visited Russell over the years, since the both had a lot in common.
The important historic fact that very few business people have made it into the Parliament. We know about lawyers and teachers, but the businessmen who made it to Parliament are very few. Russell, Kenboy, and perhaps myself, but nobody see me as a businessman. They see me only as a farmer. But it is important that that legacy of businessmen in politics continue. It is important that we give some focus to the private sector and deploy the mentality of the private sector in government.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, on the other hand, says on every occasion he interacted with Russell, he learned much.
Since I've been Prime Minister, he would visit me on many occasions, and he would offer his advice, always very practical. He came to me and told me that, and what Monty said is true, he said to me that one of the reasons that he left Milton is that they weren't serious about an international airport. And told me that my idea of building it is in line with what he was thinking, and that it would have been easier then than when I started.
Russell leaves behind a wife, 3 sons and 9 grandchildren. Reporting for SVGTV News, I am Jamisha Wright.
Omnibuses operators in the Sharps area are enraged about the conditions of the roads and are calling on authorities to do something about the situation soonest. So serious are they that they are planning a strike for next Tuesday, October 28, 2014. Kristen John Dean spoke with Vice President of the Omnibus Association, Juden Little, who talks about some of the challenges being faced.
Residents in Sharps may find themselves stranded from Tuesday, October 28 if the omnibus operators in that area do not get what they are asking for. Both van drivers and residents are complaining about the conditions of the roads in that area, and according to Juden Little, they are tired of being neglected by the authorities. He says this has now forced them to take action.
The condition of the roads there, we have to put dirt into the road now to pass certain areas different to that we can't pass. You see, at the whole shops is the same like this, not much different. So we like at least the government to even just assist by patching roads. We feel that better even just patch them more than this. It's terrible.
Little says because of the condition of the roads, purchasing parts for their vehicles has become a norm.
Every week we have to change stuff on our buses, right? And it's expensing us to the fullest. Right now, some man can't even walk. A lot of vans are off the road right now because they can't afford to buy the stuff to fix the vans right now. So we need assistance from the government to get the roads fixed.
Expressing gratitude to residents in that area for helping to alleviate the problem, Little says more assistance is needed, particularly from the authorities.
We, the van drivers up here, well, like we usually in the past, we would put concrete in the road. But they told us we can't put any concrete in the road now. So, what do they want us to do now to pass on these roads?
Okay, so you talk about the condition of the road, you're speaking about the strike.
Is this going to be a united strike? Are all the van drivers on board?
So far, we have every single van driver in shops on board with the strike because everybody's feeling the squeeze right now with the condition of the roads.
Okay, and how long do you plan to continue this strike?
Until at least they get a word to us, letting us know what they're going to do about the roads.
So from Tuesday?
From Tuesday.
Until whenever you get a word, you would be off the road?
Yes.
Meanwhile, SVG-TV caught up with one of the omnibus operators who says he would be joining the strike action.
I've been driving in shops for over a year and a half, right? And since I've been driving here, the road has been bad. And we need some help. Right now my van in the garage because I changed a power steering and some front end parts. So if we could get help from the government to with this road, it will really help you. And we need the assistance from the public to come and assist us too, because everybody feeling the pain, not just van drivers alone, the residents in shops feeling it.
Though it is not clear whether the operators will follow through with the threatened strike action, the Vice President of the Omnibus Association says once they start the strike, it will continue until authorities respond to their concerns. Kristen John Dean reporting for SVG-TV News.
As the world embarks on a global tree planting exercise in the quest to plant 100 million trees by 2017, SVG by the end of tomorrow will have planted over 6,000 new trees. Speaking to SVG-TV News earlier today, Promotions Manager at the Richmond Vale Academy, Austin Kane, says SVG is participating in the worldwide competition in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture. Kane says while the Academy is hopeful that SVG will come out victorious at the end of the competition, they are also very excited that more Vincentians are aware of the importance of planting trees and preserving the environment.
St. Anna Grenadines is currently in the leading position with the most organizations registered in the Western Hemisphere. This has been made possible due to the efforts of the students and the staff from the Richmond Vale Academy, who has spent the last months going out into all of the schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, getting them registered, prepared, and they are now planting together with the schools. So far they have completed about 98% of the work, with one more day remaining, which will be the 24th of October, which marks the closing of the tree planting competition worldwide. So far they have planted 10 trees per school with all of the schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and on the closing and on the 24th of October they will be planting 5,000 trees at the grounds of the Richmond Vale Academy, starting from 9 o'clock in the morning until 12.
Kane says the program, which was launched in March this year and ran for a 6-month period, will continue next year until 2017.
This project would be taking place on a yearly basis, so all organizations which have not or who did not get to register with us this year can get on board when the program launches again next year in March.
Local businesses will get the opportunity to share the spotlight with other regional and international businesses at a trade fair to be hosted here next week by Vinci Marketing. Representative of Vinci Marketing, Nicola Brown, says this is the 3rd time that the fair will be held in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and this year's theme is Marketing Your Business Today for a More Profitable Tomorrow. She adds that at the fair there will be free blood sugar and pressure tests. It will also include a concert beginning at 5 p.m. on October 31st and a fashion show beginning at 6 p.m. the following day.
2 days of the best of SVG and beyond. There's so much to see. There'll be a fashion show on Friday from 5 p.m. The hours are extended, so if you have to work late, we go up until 9 on Friday, and we're open on Saturday from 9:30 in the morning until 4 p.m. You could see everything from every sector, from business services, from manufacturing, creative industries, and there's something for everyone.
CEO of Vinci Marketing, Samuel Brown, says the event is open to the public and he's encouraging everyone to patronize the fair.
We're asking persons to come out and view, to see, buy, taste, whatever. It's going to be great. We know this year we're hoping to have it bigger, and certainly.
Chief Prosecutor at the Serious Offences Court, Adolphus Delpesh, has expressed great concern of the length of time some investigators at the Criminal Department are taking to prepare case files and have them presented to be processed. He expressed these sentiments yesterday when a preliminary inquiry involving Michael Jackson, who was indicted on a charge of possession of ammunition, had to be adjourned due to the non-availability of the file. He summoned the investigator to the witness stand to explain why he was taking so long to submit the case file. The investigator in response told the court that he has been awaiting a written statement from a sergeant, but to no avail. The prominent prosecutor pointed out that all ranks of the police force are serving one master, and such approach was totally unacceptable, and that he cannot be professionally dishonest. The final adjournment for the preliminary investigation was granted for November. After 9 years on the run, 33-year-old Steve Brown of Sandy Bay has been arrested and charged for the murder of fellow villager Jevon Nero. Brown was taken to the serious offences court this morning and was not allowed to plead to the indictable charge. He was remanded in custody until the start of the preliminary inquiry.